Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet, the voice you know with the news you trust studio. Sponsored by BASF, where you can count on the trusted performance of Allevo seed treatment to protect your soybean crop. Happy harvest! I'm Morgan Anderson out of Athens County. It's 68 degrees outside and cloudy. Our low for tonight is 47 degrees. The Circleville Pumpkin Show in Pickaway County kicked off today. The first thing on the agenda was their annual pumpkin weigh-in, where growers across the state can compete in growing the biggest pumpkin. This year's winners were Mike and Dusty Welberg of Darbyville, Ohio. Now get this, their pumpkin weighed in at 1,972 pounds. Congratulations to them. Last year's winners, Bob and Joe Liggett, were this year's runner-up with a 1,663 pound pumpkin, and third place went to Brandon Wiggins with a weigh-in of 1,567 pounds. Those are some big pumpkins. Taking a look at your agricultural headlines, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent confirmed that the meeting between President Trump and China's leader Xi Jinping is back on after their latest trade fight, keeping hope alive for a deal on soybeans. Bessent told Fox Business News that President Trump will meet with China's Xi at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in South Korea next month, despite their recent trade flare-up.
He will be meeting with Party Chair Xi in Korea. There has been substantial communication over the weekend.
President Trump threatened 100% tariffs against China by November 1st after Beijing announced export controls on rare earth minerals used in military and civilian electronics. That was after Trump said he'd bring up China's effective ban on U.S. soybeans at his planned summit meeting with Xi.
He's got things that he wants to discuss with me, and I have things that I want to discuss with him, and one of the things is soybeans.
Bessent said talks with Beijing were continuing, and Trump could choose not to impose new tariffs on China. But the Treasury Secretary said all options were on the table to discourage Chinese export controls. We'll be right back after this.
Attention construction pros. Purple Wave Auction brings quality equipment to your fingertips. Join our bi-weekly online auctions featuring dozers, excavators, loaders, and more. We provide detailed listings, photos, and seller contact info. Inspect online or in person. With our no reserve policy, every item sells to the highest bidder. Visit purplewave.com today and see why informed builders choose Purple Wave. Transparent processes, real deals. Your next great purchase awaits. purplewave.com.
The U.S. and China have begun charging competing port fees on ocean shipping firms that move everything from holiday toys to crude oil. Reuters said the new fees will make the high seas a key front in the continuing trade war between the world's biggest economies. China has started collecting the levies on U.S.-owned, operated, built, or flagged vessels, but clarified that Chinese-built ships are exempt from the same levies. The China-imposed extra port fees will be collected at the first port of entry on a single voyage or the first 5 voyages within a year. Earlier this year, President Donald Trump announced plans to levy fees on China-linked ships to loosen the country's grip on the global maritime industry and boost U.S. shipbuilding. Yahoo said an investigation during former President Joe Biden's administration found that China uses unfair trade policies and practices to dominate the global maritime, logistics, and building sectors. Let's take a look at our afternoon weather update with meteorologist Ryan Martin, brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com.
Clouds breaking up over the region as we move through the rest of this afternoon after a few spits and sprinkles trying to hold on in northwest Ohio this morning. I think we end up partly to mostly sunny by the time we get into mid-afternoon over a large part of the state. Sunny, warm, and dry again tomorrow, and I think we can squeeze out most of Friday. There's some moisture trying to move through the Great Lakes and Michigan on Friday, but I don't think it gets down to us. I'm more interested in what goes on later in the weekend. Saturday, a few hit-and-miss scattered showers. Saturday night, Sunday, that's when the front comes through, and it gives us all a chance at a quarter to maybe 1.5 inches of rain. I'm meteorologist Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Now let's take a look at how the markets closed, brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. December corn up 3 3/4 at 4.16 3/4 cents. March corn up 3 cents at 4.32 1/4. May corn up 3 cents at 4.41. November beans remain unchanged at 10.06 1/2. January beans also unchanged at 10.24 1/4. March soybeans up 1/4 cent at 10.39 3/4. December wheat down 1.5 pennies at 4.98 3/4. July wheat down 1.5 pennies at 5.39. And September wheat down 1 3/4 cents at 5.53 1/4. October live cattle up 35 cents at 242.17 1/2. December live cattle up 27.5 cents at 246.77 1/2. February live cattle up 22.5 cents at 248.75. December lean hogs up 45 cents at 83.60. February lean hogs up 25 cents at 85.70. April lean hogs up 27.5 cents at 89.32 1/2. November feeder calves down 65 cents at 380.67 1/2. January feeder calves down 20 cents at 377.85. In November, class 3 milk down 8 cents at 16.30. Those were your afternoon closing markets. As always, thanks for joining us. I'm Morgan Anderson, and you're listening to the Ohio AgNet.